Having your console set up and ready to go before the band gets there can save you critical minutes during sound check. Most of the time, you don't have the luxury of just playing around for hours on end trying to get the band to sound good. Time is critical when the band is there. So let's talk about how to set up your console so when the band gets there, you can quickly and effectively put together a good mix. We'll be using the Digidesign Venue for this demonstration. The first thing I'll do is go through every channel and set up my high pass filter. We'll start with the kick drum and work our way through. Alright, I'm using two kick drum channels here, one for the snap or attack and the other for the body of the drum, the lower frequencies. So on this first one, I will turn the high pass on and I'll roll that on up to 200 or 300 hertz. Go to the snare. The snare, I'll turn the high pass on, but I'll set it pretty conservative. Probably leave it at 80 hertz. Snare bottom, I'll turn it on and I'll roll it up a little higher. I'll go ahead and roll it to like 150, 200 on this. Hi-hat, turn the high pass on. And I'll actually roll this on up to around 250. The toms, I don't need high pass filters on those. Overheads, I'll go ahead and turn that on. And I'm going to set this around 200 hertz. Loop, I don't need a high pass there. Don't need one on bass. Keyboards, I don't really need one there. The organ. And then the organ low, this is a Leslie cabinet. And so this will be the low end of the Leslie. I don't need it there. I'll go back to the organ, which is the top of the Leslie cabinet. We don't need low frequencies there because that's just the high frequency driver. So I'll go ahead and put that on there, and that'll also help get rid of any wind noise. Acoustic. If we're doing a rock and roll set, I'll need that because I don't really need those low frequencies. Go ahead and pull that up to around 150 or so. Electric guitars, I'll turn those on, set them around 100. And then my vocal, turn that on, and we'll take that on up just past 100. Alright, now I have my high pass filters. I'll go back at the kick drum and I'll preset some EQs. We'll start on the first kick drum channel, which is my attack or snap channel. I know I'm going to want to take some mid-range frequencies out of that, so I'll go ahead and do that. I'll go somewhere around 500 hertz and make that a little wider. And I'll set my top frequencies at around 4K and 10K so that I'm ready to boost when we get there. Move on to the second kick drum channel, which will be my low frequencies. I will go ahead and cut some mid-range frequencies out of there, same place, around 500 hertz. Widen that out a little bit. I'll set my low EQ around 50 hertz because I know that's where I like to start boosting. The high frequencies, I'm actually going to take the top band, move it down to around 2K, and turn it into a shelf by pushing the knob in so that I can shelf the high frequencies out of that mic a little bit if I need to. On to the snare. The snare top, I'm not really going to preset any frequencies on that one because it really just depends on the snare. On the bottom snare, I'm probably going to pull out some mid-range, so I'll go ahead and do that just a little bit. Make that nice and wide. Alright, and my hi-hat, same thing. We'll just kind of wait till we get there and see what we need from that. Alright, toms are something that you can definitely pre-EQ. So I'll set my low frequency for tom 1 just above 100 hertz, around 120. And that's probably where I'll be boosting. And I'm going to do a cut somewhere in the mid-range. We'll go ahead and set that around 450. And I'll actually go ahead and cut it. High frequencies, again, around 3 or 4K, and again at 10K, ready to boost. Tom 2, pretty similar story there. We'll set the low boost just below 100 this time. And then we will set our mid-range cut around 500 hertz, make it a little wider. And then we'll go up here 4K, and we're already at 10K. Overheads, I'll probably want to take out some mid-range there. So I'll go ahead and do a cut at about 1K and we'll be ready to sweep around if we need to. I'll be a little more gentle on that one. Alright, loop, I'm going to leave that. Bass, I'll leave that. All the keyboards I will leave flat as well. Acoustic guitar, we're probably going to take out some mid-range. I'll just leave my mid-band set at 1K and ready to go there. Electric guitars, I'll leave these guys all flat. And then vocals, I'll leave that with my low-mid band set at 200 Hertz. And that's ready to go to take out some mud if I need to. All right, now we have our EQs preset. We'll move back to the kick channel again, and we'll set our compressors and our gates. When you're setting up your compressors and gates, you'll want to remember to set your threshold so that you're not compressing or gating initially. So to do this on your compressor, you'll raise your threshold all the way up so that you're not compressing until you lower your threshold. On your gates, you'll want your threshold all the way down so that it only takes a very little bit of noise to open the gate. So on the kick drum, I'm not going to use a compressor this time around, but I will use a gate. So I'm actually going to go ahead and take my threshold all the way down. I'll take my attack, and I want that as fast as it'll go. My release, I'll leave it around 200, and the hold, I'll take it down just a little bit to 50 or 60. And I will also go ahead and set up my side chain over here. I'll turn the key on, and I'm going to filter that down to around 100 Hertz. And then we'll move on to the second kick drum channel. Same thing here. Threshold all the way down so that the gate will open very easily. Attack as fast as it'll go. Pull the release down just a little, and the hold down some. We'll turn on our side chain, filter out some high frequencies so that only the low end opens that gate. All right, and then snare top. I'll probably compress this. I'm going to go ahead and turn the compressor on, and I'll raise my threshold all the way up so that it's not compressing when the snare starts. Raise my ratio up. I'll go between 3 and 4 to 1. Leave my attack and release where they are for now, and I'll play with that when we get there. We'll skip on over to the toms. We'll be gating the toms. I'll go ahead and turn the gate on, load my threshold all the way down, attack as fast as it'll go, release somewhere around 500, hold, we'll take that up to around 300, and we'll want to side chain on these, filter out the high frequencies. Take that down to about 200 Hertz. And we'll go to Tom 2. Same deal here. Threshold all the way down. Attack fast. So my release down. So my hold down. Turn on the side chain. Filter out the high frequencies. Alright, overheads. I'll probably do some compression here. I'll turn that on. I'll take my threshold up. And I'll leave everything else ready to go. Loop, don't really need to do anything there. Bass guitar, we'll turn the compressor on, ratio at 3 to 1. It's a good starting place. And I'll take my threshold all the way up. Keyboards, I'll actually go ahead and turn the compressors on and take my thresholds up. Keyboard players can sometimes get a little out of control, so we'll go ahead and be ready for that. Thresholds up. Alright, acoustic guitar. Probably be compressing. I'm going to take my attack pretty fast, raise my threshold, and raise my ratio so that it'll really bite in pretty hard. After that, we'll move to electrics. We'll be gating the electrics, so we'll turn on the gate. We'll lower the threshold all the way down. We'll slow our attack down just a little bit, and we'll slow our release way down. I'll go ahead and go 2 seconds, and I'll take the hold out pretty long there too. And to save time, we can copy this, and we'll paste it to all of the other electric guitars. Turn it on. Alright, let's make sure we got those. We did. And then my vocal. Turn on the compressor. I'm going to raise my threshold all the way up. Take my ratio up to around 4 to 1. And my attack and release settings should be at a good place already. Alright, so now we have our EQ, our compressors, our gates, and our high passes all set. Next thing I'll do is go through and set up my auxes. So we'll go back to the kick drum channel. Sometimes I like to add some reverb to the kick drum. For me, that is aux 4. So I'll turn that on, And I'll go ahead and turn that up a little bit. And I'm not going to go quite to unity on that one because I don't really like a lot of reverb on that. I know I want some reverb on my snare top, so I'll turn that on aux 4, which is my drum reverb, and I'll take that all the way to unity. And then I want the same on my toms. Take those to unity as well. Now we'll go to the vocal channel and we'll turn on our reverb. Actually have a couple different ones. So aux 1, we'll put that at unity. Aux 2 is also another reverb. We'll turn that up to unity so that it's feeding that. And then my delay is aux 3. I'll turn that on. Go ahead and push that up to unity so it's ready to go. Now we'll go through and pan everything so that we're ready to go. We'll start with the drums. The kick is center, the snare needs to be center. Hi-hat will pan to the right because we're panning audience perspective in this case. Tom 1, we'll pan that to the right a little bit. Tom 2 will go to the left. The overheads are stereo channel and the width is already out for us. Same with the loop. Bass needs to be center. All the keys are stereo channels, so don't have to worry about that. Acoustic. Acoustic is going to pan left simply because my hi-hat is panned right. And the acoustic and hi-hat carry very similar rhythms and very similar frequencies. Go to my electric guitars. The first guitar player, he is on my left, so I will pan him to the left, both of his channels. Next guitar player, I'll pan both of his channels to the right. And my lead vocal should be center. Now your console is set up and ready to go, and this should make sound check a lot faster. You have your frequencies pretty close to set, your compressors are ballparked and your gates are ballparked and turned on where they need to be turned on.